Private. This is the War on Comics. I'm Colin.
I'm Omar.
And we're going deep, and deeper into the Alan Moore catalog. This time we're looking at his Supreme run.
The Supremacy.
I've been working on this like a what do you call it? Like a clickbait kind of, a rage bait kind of like headline.
Yes.
I think this is my proof that Alan Moore is not good at writing comics. What they say? Okay, hear me out. Comics are all about the second act. You know.
Okay.
As a issue to issue, if you think of like a Spider-Man comic that's published in perpetuity, you can always put Spider-Man through whatever you're going to put him through, but at the end of it, he still has to be Peter Parker, spider suit, webs.
Return to like the hero.
Yes, and it's always going to be kind of status quo. And Alan Moore is a master of the third act.
I agree.
As I'm reading more of his comics, and I've read a lot of them, I thought I was well versed on the Alan Moore stuff. I'm like, I like Alan Moore. But the more I read them now, or reread them rather, I'm kind of appreciating how good he is at like closing the loop to the point where this also answers my other like kind of quandary about Alan Moore, or a sticking point of mine, which is like his early stuff for like Warrior and 2000 AD or whatever. I'm like, doesn't really like hit. And I always just figured, I just took him a while to get to sea legs.
Yeah.
Aha. The reason why those don't hit is because they're short form. He doesn't, and not to say he can't write a good like 8-pager or like a single issue or whatever, but what he truly excels at, they have that phrasing, give someone enough rope, they'll hang themselves, Yeah. Give Alan Moore enough rope, he'll tie that motherfucker up. Yeah. He'll cinch it. And this first book of the Supreme thing, I think, is one of the best cinching of a knot that exists. I was like, okay, this is fine. And then you get to the third act, the closer. It's like, Galaxy Brain, all that shit is horrendous. The second book, it kind of cuts off midway. Yeah. And it ends on one of the oddest notes of any run.
It is so strange.
And it's because he didn't get to have the runway. And even reading Swamp Thing, I think that is why, and I think those are great comics, but they're kind of just great. They're not Watchmen. Watchmen, he has the runway, he can close it, he has a beginning, a middle, and an end, he's planting the seeds in the beginning, full story.
All of that.
Whereas Swamp Thing, it was like month to month. He wasn't trying, he was like going off of what someone else had started. He wasn't gonna like disrupt the status quo that much. He was doing a company man kind of action, and it doesn't have that same like, if you have to just keep it going, you don't really get that like triumphant closure that a good Alan Moore arc has. And I don't know why it took me this comic to really come to that conclusion. I also, I don't know how better way to put this. Yes. I got my prop board come in. So this is the Alan Moore chronology of major works. So comics he's had like a long run on, and I got them kind of, the before times. Captain Britain I didn't know he had a long run on.
11 issues.
Yeah, and so I got the trade recently. It looks pretty good. The art's good at least. So, Marvel Man we haven't touched on. V for Vendetta we haven't touched on. This is a weird one that just spans a very long time. Swamp Thing, boom, nailed it. Watchmen, boom. Killing Joke, again, not one of my favorite Alan Moore comics. Why? It's like a one-off kind of, it's not, did not have the runway to work with. Yeah. I know we haven't covered 1963. Wildcats, I was surprised he worked on that for as long as he did. And this is where the Supreme lies, is in, I would call them like the lost years of sorts, but it is really just like the Image era, which goes on for a long time, basically while he's writing From Hell. I'm not going to say this, but I think, or don't quote me on this rather, obviously I'm going to say it, but I think he was going through a divorce around this period.
Oh, gotcha.
And so I think he was like, yeah, I'll write your comics. You guys are paying me how much? Because you respect me? Hell yeah. I'll write your Wildcats. I'll write your Supreme, which we'll get into. And I think I propose, because of course Supreme, we'll get into this more, but Supreme was just Tom Strong before he had Tom Strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's also, of course, like Superman fanfic, you know?
Yeah, it's like, I think he was sorting out his thoughts about Superman, and that led directly into, like, why Tom Strong is so fucking good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, Tom Strong is great until it just fucking gets cut off,
Yeah.
and then it's.
Does he? I've heard he abandoned it, or he was just
Well,
doing other stuff.
I think that basically ABC sold to, which was under Wildstorm sold to DC, and
Oh, right.
ABC was under Wildstorm. So I think when Jim Lee made that deal, he was just like, well, I'm fucking out, because that's the
ABC.
ops,
Yeah.
you know? And that leads into the ABC era, which I, champion maybe more than necessary. League is in there. That's like, all this stuff is coming out around the same time, and then we get this weird edgelord stuff. But yeah, we still got a ways to go. I guess we can cross off Tom Strong.
Yeah, we got that in the books. I cannot believe, I'm looking at the Wildcats. I
It's
feel
wild.
like it's insane.
And this is something that I think anyone who's a little too into comics can relate to. But I was on eBay and I was trying to figure this stuff out. This is worth noting that this image stuff is I call it his lost years, because it's literally like all out of print. Like you can't find this stuff. I looked for a complete Wildcats, and like there's like one book on eBay and it's out of print, and it's like none available. Like, this is wild. Not even like a price gouging one.
Wow.
There was ones that sold in like the $50-ish which is
Okay.
kind of wild. And then there was this other set. It was like this guy had like a lot. It was like the complete Wildcats is made up of 2 graphic novels, which this guy had a lot, where it's just he was just selling the 2 graphic novels and then like a bonus thing, and he had it for like $55. And I was like, okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But his had bacon offer, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll go $45. And it's like automatically declined.
Jeez.
I'm like, oh, okay, $50, automatically declined. I'm like, well, why the hell would you make an offer thing if you're not gonna let me take $5 off?
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's some bullshit.
But so then I put them on like a watch item, and I went home and I have the complete Wildcats anyway. So I don't know. It like saved me $50. Otherwise, I would have been gifting you some.
Oh shit, man.
Alan Moore Wildcats here. But the bottom line is, yeah, it's out of print. These Supreme books are like expensive. I mean, you wouldn't look at it the way I fucking take care of it. But
Dude, I mean, they're meant to be.
yeah. But like, and when we crack into this, I will get into my beef. Please do not.
This is so clutch.
You went digital on these, right?
Yeah, so I found these on the archive, the Internet Archive.
Love it.
I will say the coloring and the scanning is horrendous.
Yes.
It is god awful.
So they have scans on there. I wonder if because this was published, like these collections come out, let me get an exact date on here.
It's like 05.
Jeez, 2002.
2002.
So that was before, like, it was like comics were digitized. I don't know if you could buy like a proper digitized version of it.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if they were not available like that.
I think
And
I can tell that it's a scam. It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
A really bad scam.
Jeez, and it's such a good story. These
Yeah.
stories deserve so much more than this dog shit presentation. We'll get into that when we get into it. But like, yeah, I would not urge anyone to pay anything close to, what the market rate is on these books. They're atrocious collections, and it just needs to be recollected.
Yeah.
I feel like, they just want us to forget that these comics exist.
Do they have? Well, I'm sure, and I've heard Rob Liefeld talk about his time with Alan Moore, and he says he loved it. That it was like a totally one-sided relationship. That he was like just a fanboy, and Alan Moore was always cranky and like all that kind of shit. So why not honor the dude?
I don't know who has like. We're about to get into this, but like, it was, I think, if I'm not is it this book where it's like, first it's published by by Extreme, as you might expect, and then it's Awesome, and then it's Maximum Press, or no, Image, Maximum Press, and then Awesome Entertainment, and that's a 12-issue run with 3 different publishers.
1 year.
Wow. Well, I doubt it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's. They were going through some stuff at the time, and those years for comics, I mean, it's where were we at? Yeah, 96 to 98.
Yeah.
Unsurprising that nobody, like, really covets this stuff enough to collect them, because those were, frankly, lost years for mainstream comics, I think.
This was a wild time, right? Because
post-speculator boom, I mean, it's, what does kayfabe call it, the bad girl era? Weird times, man. And those are not like looked back with a fondness in a weird way, like the Image big gun shoulder pad era kind of has some charm now. Yeah, I don't think the bad girl era or like Evil Ernie is looked back with the same kind of like, you know, rose-colored glasses or whatever.
Is this Squirrel Girl era?
Not even.
Well? Not
that's
yet,
like
right?
That's kind of post Tumblr, which is a different kind of boom. Like,
yeah.
So it's like, we're again. It's really just like She comics that are selling. SHI. You ever fuck with She?
I've heard of them. I've never seen them.
That's everyone. That's why anything in this era is just like I mean, I was picking up Fantagraphic stuff at this point because I was mature. I even think like I don't think Fables was out yet.
Did you ever fuck with Battle Chasers?
No, what was that?
Okay, that's about the Fables era.
Yeah.
And it was because I started collecting comics at the end of this run, so
right.
like 97, 98, and that's Joe Mann.
Okay, yeah.
And it's his like Americanizing of like manga. And I feel like it synthesizes this like Image era.
It's an interesting period for sure.
Like
like post-Spawn, pre-Walking Dead. What a strange abyss we're in. And I think without further ado, we got to dive into the abyss. No,
I think that's a great setup for that.
Okay, let's get into it.
Boom. I'm gonna hang this up.
Yeah. Oh, feel free. I was just gonna take it.
Awesome.
Okay. How did you like this one?
I really like book 1, like a lot.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad it held up to, because I tout the virtues of this book, and I'm like, I know it looks awful, and it does.
Yeah, the art I would say was the hardest thing. I wasn't reading it for the art. I'll say that.
So it's really weird to be like, this Supreme character is really awesome. So the backdrop is Alan Moore gets the job, and Liefeld is like, please write this for me, and he's like, all right, but I'm just not gonna pay attention to anything you've ever done with this character.
I like it.
You read the wiki on it, and it's like, it's nuts. They're like, oh, he was a rapist who got like beat to death, and then they like beat him and put him in jail and gave him like a super soldier serum. Like there's just, I mean, it's whatever it is, you know, like Image comic or whatever. But then it, like the amount of discarding that Alan Moore did to the Supreme lore is hilarious, especially coming hot off the Swamp Thing run where he was like very reverential of Wrightson and Len Wein and like what they had done up until that point, like all the side characters they had made. Like he was so careful not to disrupt the sandbox of really a character no one cares about like that.
Swamp Thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one was
very
gonna
niche.
Yeah, so for him to just take Supreme, which was, I mean, just no one cared about, period, and just be like, I'm not doing any of that. This is now Superman. He's just Superman. I have no problem reading it like that. And in a way, I think it's probably a lot more freeing than doing a superhero run. You know who was cooking around this time was Grant Morrison around his X-Men run, which is terrific.
I love that X-Men
terrific run. And I think that's maybe a little bit after this, but it's like, I think that was kind of going on with a lot of those like really forward-thinking writers. They were like, can I just have some fun with these characters,
like,
you know?
reinvigorate them.
Yeah, Gaiman had like that 1602 like brief series.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of those like, you know, heady British writers who are just like, can I just write a fucking superhero story?
It's almost like it's like nostalgia, but not in a way.
Yeah, like, because maybe it's just because the market had bottomed out and it was like, they got like a couple decades of writing out of their system. They didn't really have anything to prove. Everyone could just have fun. Like, this seems like a lot more fun to write as a as a Superman comic than Superman, because you do not have to take into account like, well, here's, you know, Clark Kent isn't Superman right now. We have him as Superboy or whatever fucking continuity
whatever the modern
gibberish
shit is.
you have to do, and you can disrupt everything so much in here in a way that you just can't with as deep of a mythology as Superman. And I don't know that Moore even wanted to do that, frankly. So in a lot of ways, this is the perfect sandbox for him. What this is terrible sandbox at is this fucking organization. If you want to stare
So
into the
crazy.
abyss and have it stare back at you and just lose your fucking mind, it's like you have to decode that starts at issue 41, which is now chapter 1. Okay, chapter 2, obviously issue 42. This is the most of the covers you'll see. They're hot-shotting. Actually, you know what was huge at this time was Marvels, which is why Alex Ross gets hit on these. This is the most flagrant misuse of Alex Ross stuff I could ever imagine. It is insulting. They replace all these covers with these Alex Ross, I'm not going to say sketchbook, it is like napkin doodles. Like, he is fucking around.
He's going quick.
Then him milking a paycheck out of this is criminal. And the hero of this story, of course, who we have to come to, is Roarin' Rick Veitch, who's doing these flashbacks. And he had worked on 1963 before this with Alan Moore. It's a beloved little mini-series that's kind of like, you know, if you weren't there for it, you weren't there for it. But he was a bunch of other artists that were on it too. But of course, works on Tom Strong after. But this is just a perfect execution of the Tom Strong formula, which is having like golden age art or silver age art as like a flashback to the character, and doing like kind of lore building via these flashbacks. So this horrific looking thing in every way, just an eyesore. I mean, there's kind of a charm to it, obviously. A little bit of a charm. Like, this
its time.
This is the take of like the first Superman issue, like Superman #1, not Action Comics, but Superman #1. And like, it's just fucking buried with all this stuff. Nothing. Oh, it's atrocious. I'm so angry at this. I'm so angry deciphering who this is. Look at all of these different artists, and these aren't like guest artists. It's like, these are the Extreme Studios B team that is just padding out these stories, and you're just kind of killing time for when Roarin' Rick Veitch comes in. So as we go through this, prepare your eyes. Again, what the fuck is this? How much was he paid for that? How much was he paid for that?
I mean, these are this is when you're like making your character.
It's so nasty. It's so nasty. This rather than having a fucking issue in it. No credits. Oh my god.
Man.
Each chapter you have to fucking flip back and and it's never worth it, because again, all you're seeing is these like, you know.
Oh man, the printing's
bad.
Gnar.
Yeah, it's not good. None of this is, again, do not. Let's all wait and pray that like a better presentation of this stuff comes out, because this is not. I mean, this is fine if you see it for $5, pick it up, of course. But like the idea of someone paying, like
you said $50,
something like that, man.
Wow.
I mean, I get it, but like, just stick to digital till something better comes along, because this is not worth preserving. This layout sucks. The print quality is bad. It's bad, man.
Was this digitally colored even?
It has to be,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I mean, yeah, who the hell knows what these guys were working on as far as sources go? Whatever 2002 Adobe PageMaker had to offer, you know, like, I feel for him. Don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, it's nasty. Maybe the single issues aren't as bad to get, but then you have to go tracking all those down. I don't know the right way to read this, but I refuse to believe that this is the peak. Is what I'm kind of getting at. We need a remaster here, but this story is kind of like, yeah, it's just like.
So we start with
Supreme coming back to Earth, and he's just like, you know. Boy, all that other stuff that happened in those previous issues is weird. Oh well, starting anew.
Here we go.
And he's meeting up with these kind of multiverse of Supremes, and of course it's like, you know, he plays with it, makes it it's like a Soul Sister Supreme, a Mouse Supreme. You know, they're having fun with all the
commenters,
alternate versions. You know, oh, that's someone funny. I kept trying to remember who does. Like he's credited in the comic. It's He has like one off. Is it? No, it can't be. Keith Giffen. That's it.
He's doing flashbacks.
Keith Giffen is credited as these like 2 panels.
Wow.
Aren't very good, but they went out of his way to credit him. So nice to see Keith Giffen getting something. I don't know how much 2 panels cost you.
Do you think that they were choosing these guys specifically for some of this stuff? Because Keith Giffen's like a big name. Like
yeah, but to hotshot him for 2 issues, I mean the Alex Ross stuff 100% is a hotshot, and that was just for this collection. This has nothing to do with his what do you call it, with the actual issues as they were published. And so yeah, get your money, Alex Ross. Don't get me wrong, I like Alex Ross getting paid, but if you're an Alex Ross completist, like just sit this one out, brother. Like it ain't worth it.
Yeah, I would say it's a feature, not even
for sure. And yeah, so we're just, you know, this is the multiverse of Supremes.
We're getting like the supremacy.
Yes.
And I love that he works at Dazzle Comics.
Great. It's you know, here's our Clark Kent. Here's our, you know, what do they call it? It's just fuck everything, reset. Fuck your lore for Supreme. I'm not acknowledging any of this. Next up, we're going to Little Haven.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. It's not. I'm not like, oh my God, can you believe how much of a Superman rip this is? Like, no, it's not worth mentioning. Like, yes, this is Superman.
It's like treating it as a Superman story, and I even thought like he was throwing some like Shazam kind of things in there, and
it's just Superman fanfic.
It's just Superman, yeah.
And it's fine because it's someone who loves Superman, and he's treating it, you know,
and it fucking works,
very respectfully, and yeah, I love it. So here's our first Roar and Rick Veitch flashback, and immediately you're just like, oh, thank God. Like, this is kind of like, it's played a little over the top to be like, you know, kitsch, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sorry, this is just good to look at. This is, and if you contrast it with that aggressive 90s style, which I know is what he's doing, you know, like that's the idea, is to like kind of show the quaintness of the golden age versus the, I guess, edge, razzle dazzle or whatever of the 90s stuff.
Because he's kind of like, what did we lose in this time? Because it's like not just reverence for the character of Superman or that era. It's like, it's more of like, there was a adventure to this style before, and then we go back to like the gray world of the 90s.
Right.
Like,
and it's more effective, I think, because there's so many parodies at the time. Like you have people taking jabs at the Image stuff, and, you know, think pieces about what a, you know, junk it was. And like, you know, even still today, there's so much like, you know, the bad Rod Liefeld drawings, blogs, and all that stuff. Like it's endless. You know, it's easy to dunk on or whatever. But like, I think the most effective critique of that you could possibly make is like, here's the comics I grew up with. This is this bullshit, and this is so well done. Like, this is just a good pastiche of that style. It's a great, and it's like, what do your eyes prefer to look at?
Just right here.
Yeah.
Just like with these two, like, because there's not anything particularly crazy going on in either one. It's just the story's being told, but like, the colors are just so much more appealing on here. It's just, I don't know. where I get that like it is nostalgia, but it isn't. Is like here, where I think they're presenting it in this way of like, no, this is just better.
And it's meta. I mean, that's where I would say the meta commentary comes in, where it's like, just let your what's exciting to you about this,
Literally,
you know. And I think his utter disregard for the story of Supreme is kind of like all you need to know. It's like, yeah, this is why I'm not fucking bothering with any of this nonsense. We're just gonna have a good time. But so there's this kind of like, you know, meta idea of like golden age versus modern, and like art styles and the kind of lightheartedness of it, the stories, all that kind of stuff. But deeper than that, I think there is this huge story being built, which you don't really see initially. Again, this is just, oh yeah, he's having fun kind of telling these old-timey kind of stories. And, you know, look at these goofy time-traveling kids, you know.
And it's almost telling you, like, it's because he's, in this era, he's filling in the blanks of his memory.
Right.
I think that's how it's working.
As he goes
through
to Little Haven, he learns about his past and all that, and is kind of putting together these things, and then using that to inform his comic books that he's writing. So it's all structured well, you know.
Right.
But again, this is a Dan Jurgens guest page. Get that money.
Hey yo. So Omni-Man is supposed to be like the actual character or something?
Yeah, Omni-Man is the character that Ethan Crane, who is Supreme, draws. And so of course they pilfer his stories, and this is our, you know, edgy British writer. And so this is like the metatextual stuff where it's like, you know, you'll never truly kill me, great unwashed, any more than you could kill Jean Genet, Isidore Ducasse, or Mallarme. Not while I still tear my heart in the final statement that juxtaposes art, mysticism, and absurdism.
It's insane.
So it's like Alan Moore making fun of himself, you know.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you want to be spicy, maybe taking some shots at Grant Morrison, which is one of my favorite.
They have beef, right?
Yeah, it's the best beef, because why? It's just sick. I fuck with it. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it would be funnier if he's taking shots at him, but let's just say he's doing some self-deprecating humor.
I feel like he is doing self-deprecating.
Yeah.
Because there's some verbiage here where I'm like, yeah, I remember reading something like that.
Right. So he's having fun with this British writer who I think is it this issue where he wants to, so here's our introduction to the Citadel Supreme, which is, what is it? The Fortress of Solitude stand-in. And this is like a pretty, I don't want to say a filler issue, but just kind of, you know, putting the lore in there and, you know, doing the flashbacks of him setting up these robots, and you know, it's sort of in a way a meditation on what it is to be a weird autonomous robot. You know, it's like, why does Superman have these beings? What is it to kind of like,
what does it mean?
Have like be sentient in a way, but also just be sitting around waiting for the guy you were built after. Like, you know, Alan Moore is of course drawing attention to the inherent weirdness of those Superman stories.
Yeah.
But not necessarily in like a mean way or like taking jabs at it. Again, incredibly reverential. I love this spread of like these, I guess what you would call like Justice Society of America. That Jack-o'-lantern character is so cool.
I love that character.
And yeah, some of these guys come back. You'll see some of them. I don't think you see the Sandman guy again, but like
Nightman.
Seeing Glory, that's a Liefeld creation. Like seeing her in like Golden Age form is like super cool.
Man, they made Liefeld so cool in this series. Like,
I know
I love Liefeld. Don't get me wrong. That's just some of that stuff I grew up on, but looking at it through this lens, it's like fuck. And there's so much potential.
Yeah, they were, and I mean, you know, whatever. The Image guys were kind of just doing their version of what mainstream superhero comics were doing anyway. So it's not. too crazy to see Alan Moore doing his version of that, which is just like a couple generations earlier. But yeah, ultimately Superman or Supreme has to dismantle all the creatures, all the robots, you know, and or like the ones that went a little haywire. And again, this is like stuff that you're not going to pick up on for a treat. But he's like, this is the kind of lore keeper of Little Haven and her granddaughter, and it's like, okay, they're obviously setting them up for something.
We're getting a couple, we're getting some inklings of
Hey,
stuff.
why is there black clouds in the sky around them? Hey, is this storytelling or something? Is that what's going on?
We're getting some writing in here?
Yeah, hey. Some dog, just such dog shit
crazy.
fucking art.
I mean,
say what you will about Liefeld, the B team was really.
well, they're just doing, I think they're just doing extreme studios.
It's like company style, house style, you know, but it's like, the fuck is just the anatomy in general is
Kind of wild.
a nightmare. This is such a cool issue. So they're doing, like, you know, it's ultimately like when EC Comics kind of wiped out the superhero boom in the golden age, right? And ironically, this kind of would come back, and the superheroes would be the only ones left standing after the, you know, seduction of the innocent, trials of comics, which instills the comics code, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to get the history lesson here. But how cool is it to just see the Golden Age heroes as presented facing off against the EC Comics hosts? There's so each one of the ghouls is sort of giving them a different vision of why these superheroes are kind of irrelevant. One is like focusing on the realism. The other, I think, is focusing or on like social commentary, you know.
Yeah.
So
this one
you guys are just like innocent comic characters, but what can you say about like drugs and
when you face
vice
this kind of shit?
Yeah, you don't have the power to deal with, you know, racism, all these social ills. Hard pick.
Dude, that shit's so badass.
And then, you know, also like mockery, just getting made fun of.
Going into that like Mad magazine.
Yeah, so like, again, man, there's a reason Rick Veitch's name rings out with such reverence. Great coloring, just perfect, and the series ends with the group just kind of disbanding.
Just totally.
Yeah, because, you know, essentially for a while it was just, you know, the superheroes were out, and the EC and more realistic style of stories were in, and this is true in the Supreme verse as well. And then our British, he was bringing the British writer there to sort of like, you know, teach him about Supreme stuff and go through and tell old stories. This is the where the Supremium man comes in. Again, we're going to come back to this because you're going to see it all close up, and it's just sort of talking about this mysterious villain that came through. And again, all this stuff reads like like an old Golden Age comic where this guy has the power to mutate him, and he turns into, you know, Golden Age or Picasso paintings, and I think that's Dali, if I'm not mistaken. So he, you know, gets morphed around into all these different modern art pieces that you could maybe, you know, bring up as some sort of commentary of comics as pop art in the period.
Fucked me up.
Yeah. So he's kind of like fractalizing, I guess you could say, you know, because he took the Supremium, and he's like, you know, a writer. So, you know, basically he's, you know, every little branch is branching out into something else, and it's multiplying and becoming more complicated. And it is like fun storytelling. It is good like comics stuff where they have to figure out a way to get rid of them, and they can't put them in the, you know, mirror world because then it'll expand and crush them. And so they have to figure out a way to like contain this exponential growth, which they blast him into some subdimension. Like, all right, fine, we'll just roll with
works.
it. Yeah. But he's still like kind of like talking to the guys from the past. This stuff comes up too. This like fax machine that he uses to talk to people with. I
mean, there's not a lot of throwaway in this.
No,
comic.
It feels like, and this is my man's strong suit, is like you follow one thing while another thing is taking place. It's a cup game, you know, like you're paying attention to, boy, this is cool that they put in this golden age art here, and like that's a way to like inform the story, and it's just kind of a fun and cool story in and of itself, you know. And then you're like, if you're paying attention to that, then you're not looking at like the character design and making this demon that's the 7 deadly sins, so he has 7 heads and they all act differently. This is for like 4 pages.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's like a, you know, Jack Chick's like wet dream, you know. It's so you're paying attention to that, and then you're not paying attention to the seeds he's kind of planting for this bigger story he's telling along the way, and like, you know, what he's kind of saying. And if you're paying attention to the actual story, then you're not paying attention to the commentary about like golden age versus modern age comics. This guy right here, I want to take him to jail. This you'll see this look, brother.
Yeah, man.
Brother, can we get a zoom in on the dog? Let's really, I want you guys to see.
This is some heinous.
Yeah, this is your Extreme Studios. Draw something that isn't a strong guy or a chick with a tiny waist. Look at this.
The homie's got hooves.
Look at this. Look at this. This is a dog. This is a regular Dalmatian dog. We can see Alex Ross's dog. Alex Ross knows how to draw a fucking dog.
He knows how to do that structure fine. No, I also saw that in the printed. I thought it was the scan.
Yeah, no.
It's
This is
fucking
just
insane.
like Extreme Studios jobber. Like, man, yeah, you can draw a fucking buff guy. It's really good. Of course you're hired. And then Alan Moore's like, draw a dog.
They missed the animals.
Like, oh, fuck. I mean, probably a better dog than I can draw. Let me just say that. You know, let's clear the air here.
Yeah,
you know,
that's fucking god awful. That's insane.
Yeah, it's even okay. At least he's being warped there. We can forgive the proportions there, but this is not much better. He shows up again. And whatever. I don't want to harp on this poor guy. Gets a gig to work for fucking Liefeld. It's like, just let me draw the
hot
chicks
chicks
with the
and
skinny
strong
waist.
guy.
Yeah, please don't make me draw
No dogs.
anything. Yeah, why does it take place in space? I got it. I'm ready to draw this. I'm prepared.
Look, I'm not letting that go. It's just insane.
Love it.
But yeah, so this story was just he's getting back. Like, this is his sister.
Right. Yeah, so it's just fleshing out Superman lore, you know.
Right.
Brother.
Oh my god.
It's the last time we gotta.
Dude.
It's awesome.
Fucking nuts.
That is awesome. All right, so they put the British writer guy. They eventually put him in the loony bin. Is this the loony bin one? Or no? This is Batman's place.
This is
Yes.
Nightman.
Oh, why have we not heard about Professor Knight
Knight
and his sidekick Twilight? This is freaky, man. I love it though. Oh god, it makes me so angry how good this is. Like, how much weirder it is to make Robin a little girl. The Joker is like a dandy. They're Lex Luthor.
It works so good.
Yeah, this is just a great comic. And you could take, the fanfic part out. You could take the Batman part of it out. Like, it's just fun storytelling.
Yeah. I was fully in here.
Yeah, and this is, again, Rock and Rick Veitch. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, we have a PhD in Alan Moore at this point. So yeah, the whole thing is they switch each other's powers and then they switch it back to trick them. And what a kind of cool idea! Like, you give essentially the Joker Lex Luthor's brain, and it's like a torture for him.
Yeah,
it's like that's just like a kind of heady concept, like you're getting into the essence of being and all that. Which again, I think Alan Moore, to his credit, like he already got all that shit out of his system. So instead of like really harping on how weird all these comics were, like, he just puts that weirdness out there and is like, you figure it out. You figure out what it's like to swap consciousnesses. But anyways, Well, I guess it just goes to prove that old proverb, one man's mind is another man's problem. This is how you tell a short form Alan Moore story. You start with like a saying, like a catchphrase, and you just kind of figure out what's the weirdest fucking way I could possibly turn that into.
In like if we were to make a bingo.
Yes. He only really gets it off on the short, on smaller stories, but like, yeah, it's just nice to see that in 20 years, Alan Moore never changes.
It's still the same, yeah.
He'll still end a story with a quippy little punchline. But yeah, let's see. I think this one is just him bringing back. Oh yeah, going and figuring out who has the souls of Professor Knight. Is it? And then this is our weird. He has a Youngblood miniseries, or maybe even just a trade, where they are on trial, and so that gets brought up from time to time, which is, I don't know, just kind of funny, I guess.
They had him working on some shit.
Yeah, and like it's more than I thought they would do. To have him actually have like other Image characters in or Extreme characters in. It's pretty fun, and I think this is like a really effective way to kind of tell these stories where it doesn't get tedious.
Yeah.
Like instead of breaking up, multiple pages of things, just give us a good splash page. Probably a lot easier on Roar and Rick Veitch too, to not have to do page layouts, and you totally like communicate the meaning. Oh yeah, another. I swear he's done this bit before. Glory's tied up. Plus, I didn't like the slavery thing. I mean, it seemed like from the 40s to the 60s, I was getting tied up every other month. I mean, was that just me? Did you guys get that too? No, can't say we did. I swear he did that in at least in Watchmen, if not in Tom Strong.
When she comments on,
it seemed like I was always getting tied up.
Something was happening, yeah.
And like, I don't know. If I had to guess, I think Alan Moore's kind of is more of a tied up kind of guy. I don't think he's like a sexual prude or anything like that, but it's.
I feel like he's also knows those guys that were writing those stories
and what they were really putting in there. So yeah, I don't think he's like kind of chastising the sexuality of those comics, more just like kind of pointing out.
Just kind of poking fun at it.
It is a reoccurring trope.
For sure. I remember the one in Watchmen for sure.
Yeah, why not bring it up? It's funny enough. It does work. And yeah, we're also like introducing these weird aliens that are gonna, or these different villains that are gonna come out. So cool, man. Rick Veitch, if anyone's like making this stuff look respectable.
For sure.
I think
the
it's
MVP of the book.
Yeah, in terms of art. Look at this crazy creep. That's
I want to see what the
know.
fuck.
It's maddening. This is so cool.
Prismalo the painter, yeah.
Like they have the skill to do it, but like they know and we know that there's not a. I think they would eventually get bored of telling these kind of stories. So they're just doing them enough. Between 1963, this and Tom Strong, you kind of, they get it out of their system without ever going. I guess 1963 is kind of all in, but even that's really short.
They're kind of just doing like not like 24-hour comics or whatever, but they're getting like their fix.
Yeah,
they're getting their fix.
Here's our like crazy Doctor Strange Ditko layout. So they are like going different eras.
Man, I love that cover. That is such a. I remember this.
Yeah. And it's like this is a different. It's like sort of showing Golden Age versus Silver Age, right?
Yeah.
So cool to see. I always associate those screens with Steranko, but I don't think that's completely accident. But of course, it's a Doctor Strange story. So
people say like with the Ditko and that era, they call it pop comics.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that kind of thing, which that makes sense.
Man, what a great! This is straight out of a Steranko Captain America.
Cool.
It's like a not direct panel rips, but like I could show them to you back to back, and you go, oh yeah,
boom. That's a Captain America.
Yeah, like a couple. Steranko was very frustrating because there's no like I think his Nick Fury run is as close as you get, but there's like 10 issues in that run. And it's amazing. It's great. But everything else is like, oh yeah, he did an issue of Avengers here. Did a couple issues of Cap there. But man, he was legitimately just too good for comics. I'm sorry. Like,
amazing, yeah.
He dipped out pretty quickly. So yeah, you weren't going to get him on a month-to-month. Now, I want to say this is Chris Sprouse, who of course goes on to do the bulk of Tom Strong. And I really hate to do it to him, but what the fuck is this anatomy? That is, I don't know where the waist is on this, but that is a lot of...
Whoa, that looks weird. Yeah.
I know. And Chris Sprouse he doesn't have any dogs. He's not a wonky guy. I think by the time he ends up getting Tom Strong, he's like really good. So this is...
it looks like they raised and then went back in or something.
And maybe like...
Oh, is that a Windsor Michaela?
Oh yeah, from Bill Nemo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's obviously it's kind of setting up the whole dream scenario, but like, and kind of showing, she's a comics writer too, so it's maybe a nod to like the kind of comics that she likes or whatever. And they're
woman of taste. Yeah,
this is a great issue, and Chris Sprouse is a great artist, but that's
a little long.
Yeah. We're gonna keep going here. And of course, they're kind of taught. So we get this fun flashback to the Supreme where he's trying to figure out his love, and they're brainstorming ideas, and it's there's a bit in there where they're just like, isn't it gonna be boring if they're just sitting around talking all issue, and you get an issue where they're sitting around talking.
They're just talking.
Come on now. And it's also kind of, I think, taking jabs at some of the kind of overt sexism of this period of, well, I guess America, but by extension American comics, all these different visions of Supreme getting married, and
oh my god.
Rick Veitch can draw some gross shit, and he's like, all right,
that's some buck shit. Yeah,
I'm gonna go a little hard on this one. Let me cook.
The years were long.
Yeah, and so here's our browbeating super Wonder Woman stand-in here. But yeah, this is another really good like Silver Age Beach comic, and of course it kind of ends the old Supreme flashback ends with him kind of being better off on his own, and this one he ended up not making any moves on our girl here, and then we're still kind of teasing this granddaughter who's now there's no real mistaking it. She's going full sinister and giving her the map of the Citadel Supreme. Cool gimmick too to have that like hidden above the clouds in the city where Supreme takes place, as opposed to the Antarctica thing. Like, it's good. I
thought that was a cool addition.
Yeah, it's like these are obviously it's Superman fanfic, but there's enough of twists to like kind of make it his own and not be such a
And I kind of think it's a fix that he's throwing into the Superman lore.
Right.
Like, he's like, well, he could make this thing happen.
Invisible and floating above the sky, and if he's just going to disappear there anyways, like, that gives it a cool vulnerability where now it's, in the city where he's protecting. Love the Zaz, that's like a mixed pixelix thing, right?
Oh, okay.
Or
gotcha.
If there's some, I don't know if there's a...
It looks like that shit.
That's his. I think that's the Bizarro Supreme. But yeah, he's taking her through the Rogues Gallery here. Such good art, man. Yeah, it's again just a shame that like there's stuff that's that good that's kind of like again out of print, not really the first thing people bring up when they talk Alan Moore. It's these comics are too good to be like forgotten. We really need to lock in. And speaking of locking in, this is when it goes from great to like world class, like one of my favorite runs, because basically and this is what I'm talking about. This is why Alan Moore is this good. This is the shell game. You're paying attention to all this kind of like golden age meta commentary, Superman fanfic. Oh, look at all these different Superman characters he's working in. You're paying attention to all that stuff, and he's telling a really satisfying story. in and of itself. And I've been watching a bunch of different movies, all kinds of variety of films lately, like older movies, newer movies. And I'm obsessed with this third act thing, because there's so many movies that just shit the bed.
They don't know how to do it, yeah.
Like, I watched Smokey and the Bandit, which is like a really fun movie. They played it in the theaters, and it was like kind of fun to see an old-timey movie in the theaters like that, you know? Really funny, holds up and everything. But after a while, it's like, we're just repeating this, and it ends. It just sort of stops.
The same thing. Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a sweet spot in the middle where it's good. I don't know if you saw that new what's it called? The new is it Ryan Gosling?
Project Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
I haven't seen it yet, but
well, no heavy spoilers or anything, but it's like I was, like catching the groove of it. Like, okay, we're going there, we're getting there. It's cool. And then, like, it's like, okay, are we, like, one of the characters' names is Rocky, right? Mm. And it's like, okay, so he's called Rocky, and in the end of, and I'm, like, putting this together as I'm watching the movie. It's like, because in the first Rocky movie, Rocky kind of wins by losing. You know?
Right.
So it's like they're referencing this, so I'm thinking, like, this guy's gonna, like, he's not gonna win, and it's just gonna be a dark ending, like Rocky, and they've been prepping us for it by calling him Rocky.
Yeah.
It is not a dark ending. It's fine. I guess reverse spoiler or saying that it isn't. It's like, no, everything's fine.
It's a happy ending for that.
It's just
character.
they just call him Rocky. And it's like purely aesthetic, and like that's how you close the loop. And there's so many times watching this movie where it's like, it's a fine movie. I'm not like trying to shit on the movie that everyone's enjoying.
But it's like missed opportunity for a storytelling.
Right.
Like,
and also just like, we're ending it here? No, we keep going. Okay, we're ending here. No, we got another one. It just keeps like going, and like
they don't know how to land the
there's
shit.
just so many stories I'm reading of all different varieties that are just, they don't close properly.
Yeah.
And this is such a good closer. So the granny is a Darius Dax guy, our Lex Luthor, whose like consciousness is shifted in by way of this like nanotech and the ink. Like we're having like, that's a real story. This is a real ending. She builds this little robot girl, so she's been living as this kind of rogue agent, and now she's making her move to take over the Citadel, and like she swaps herself, and like that's enough, kind of, like, okay, we're now setting up.
It was very well thought out.
Different artist.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
It was well thought out, I think, this whole last.
And like the fight is satisfying. This is not like, mega meta literary references. Like this is the fun shit about Image Comics, specifically Extreme Studios style comics, where it's like, now we just got the buff guys facing off, and we got, media kind of making it feel a little modern, how the superheroes have to interact with this modern age of media. And we're not like being too good to tell these kind of stories. We're leaning into it, Our Silver Age guys come back, and it's like, they're in the newer styles, so we're having some kind of closure with that. And like now, instead of the granny, she's I forgot what that guy is, but the new body. Whoever he is, he's like their not quite a doomsday, or I guess it's a Bizarro, sort of. But their Bizarro is that weird shadow guy, so I don't know. Remember Fractal Guy? We're bringing him back in the mix, like we have all the team. The team is all together. They did this in Tom Strong too, right? Where all the people we met along the way come in at the end to help, and all these loose ends sort of get tied up. And what this comic does, that I think is one of his best endings, once he gets that big buff guy suit, he goes into to get more supremium, their kryptonite or whatever, and it just like functionally changes him, and he goes down into the time frame and just kind of disappears. So in some ways, it's an Alan Moore anti-climax.
Right.
But the fight is over, where everyone's going back. Cool. Ends with the glory shot, but you're like, wait a second, the Supremium Man. And then you go back and you see, here's our here's our spiraling time travel thing, and like you see old Alan Moore, or you see like old Supreme meeting new Supreme, which happens in. Is that in the first issue or is it in the next one?
I think it's in the next one.
Okay, so so we're even thinking further ahead. But like, here's our Supremium man going back through time,
falling into the scene.
Yes.
Oh wow.
So it's like the enemy creates this time loop,
Yeah.
and we're showing it in the comic. But like, they don't tell you that's happening. You know, this all stands. This is perfectly fine as a story if he just falls into the time loop and disappears.
And it's just yeah.
But we're feeding you this early
Directly
on.
coming back.
It's nuts.
Wow.
That's how you fucking end the comic, and it's like, it's so satisfying.
This first book, I was like, damn, this is a sick, like, I was wondering where they were gonna go from it
Right.
for this. And so how did you feel about book 2?
It's afterthought.
I think
It's
so.
a postscript, you know.
Dude, I think that this sold probably relatively well because it was like an image book at the right time, and I think he just kind of wanted to keep, like, I think Rob Liefeld wanted to keep the story going, and so was feeding,
giving him some, an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
And I think Alan Moore was having fun with the character, but it does kind of end up way too abruptly, like legitimately got canceled or whatever. So like, it's nothing completes here. Well, like, I don't think we need to go through that slowly with this one.
Yeah.
That first one is 100% essential.
That one you have to read the full way and everything. I thought that was fucking fun.
Yeah, so bizarre. Again, it's a cover. Wouldn't it be nice to have a full page cover?
Yeah.
Heaven forbids. No, we're sticking with this fucking Alice Ross hot shot gimmick.
Yeah, instead of adding them in while you're reading them.
Oh, brother. And it gets even fucking worse, the insanity, because we have our table of contents. They call these chapters. So we go 53, 54, 55, 56, reboot back to number 1, and then it's a 5-issue or 6-issue series. Insane. Like,
insane.
Why? And like, when you read, we'll get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like, I guess it's not surprising that the studio folded, because it's like, you do a reboot, like a renumbering, like starting from issue 1, as a way to onboard new readers. But the story completely continues. It's like not a stopping point at all. If you were to restart here, if this was Supreme 1, that would be great, because we just ended such a perfect arc.
Yeah, which is what I was wondering, is like, what was I don't know if there was a thought process.
Nothing.
For it. Yeah.
It's just, will number 1 sell well? We'll start it again at
Let's
number
try
1.
it again, yeah.
Same writer, same creative team, doesn't matter. We're just going to restart it. Lord.
Yeah, it was weird for sure.
Yeah. We got some rock and Rick Veitch. I think we're like reaching out to other people, and this is sort of where the Tom Strong thing will come in, because I just don't know if like Rick Veitch was like down to do this month to month, or if he just wasn't particularly interested. I don't know what, but like you have people like Jim Starlin coming in, and
Cocaine.
Yeah, so we're getting I think the Tom Strong flashbacks are more akin to 1963, where you have a different artist doing each different flashback, you know. He doesn't rely on Rick Veitch too much in the Tom Strong run. So in that regard, this is like, he's refining the strategy more.
Yeah.
And we still get some cool stuff, but it's definitely not like, I think, on par with the first book. Probably could have been if they, again, gave him some rope to play with, but we do get some more Chris Sprouse art, which I think he was the most effective of the Extreme guys, and he takes over the Tom Strong stuff. And I think, whereas we were kind of contrasting the Golden Age art with the like real Extreme studio stuff, I think the Chris Sprouse style is like a lot less jarring, and maybe you lose some of that like extreme juxtaposition, but you do get just easier.
It just feels a little better. For the tone of the story,
for
I
sure.
think it matches like, and maybe I got primed to it because we read the Tom Strong
Right.
first, but I think it works really well.
Yeah, I'm not here to complain about Chris. He can draw a dog.
He can draw a dog. Yeah.
So I mean, this is a fun one-off story of sorts where the Supreme comic is the Omni-Man comic, and he's worried that because now instead of being a fictional character in the comic that Supreme Ethan Crane writes, Omni-Man is the real in-universe superhero, and Supreme is the fictional character.
Yeah.
And of course they have to fight because it's a comic book. And again, Alan Moore not being too good to be writing these kind of stories. And of course it's a Mr. McPixelix stand-in where the imp has been just fucking with him. Great, this is like some gorilla shit right here.
That's pretty cool. I'll say this one's colored way better.
Yes, all around just a huge step up art-wise. And it's just more fun to look at, I guess.
I love this moment right here.
Yeah. Again, PhD in Alan Mooreology. How do you defeat the hero, the villain that's omnipotent? You just give him a word puzzle, like some
those impossible thought.
Yeah, it's a little
things,
thought game, and that
yeah.
kind of glitches him out, and then he's gone, and then everything's returned to normal. We have some weird tie-in with the Youngblood limited series, which we can get into eventually. So that was 53. Here's 54. I just numbered these individually so I could fucking keep
that
track
help,
of them.
yeah.
Jesus.
Actually, no.
And yeah, I think we got some Rick Veitch stuff doing our tribute to Sheena, and this is our, kind of a freaky one. He is trying to resurrect his girlfriend, but the girl is just so obsessed with Supreme and being his partner that she can't cope, right? So, we're doing a romance comic tribute here. She ends up trying on Earth doing bad girl stuff. Yeah, right. Can you tell that the bad girl comics are big right now? Can you tell that Cheesecake comics are really selling well? I don't know if you could tell, but if there was any confusion, just letting you know that kind of stuff is doing numbers. So we're hot-shotting this book a little bit with that. But there's some headiness here too, because she pairs up with the Supreme robot. Yeah. And they're like, this is kind of all I wanted. This is all you've been programmed to want. So, I like an android sentient story, Yeah. Why can't androids find some?
Why can't they find love? They're people too.
Sure. Why not? Why not? We have our Gil Kane cameo here. Oh yeah, and this is like another alternate dimension thing. Yeah. Again, I don't think we were building to anything. Maybe we were building to something big. Maybe all this stuff would come into play in time, but as it stands with the story we have, these are just kind of one shots.
They're just romps.
Yes.
This one feels like a lot of the just monthlies. These are just monthlies.
And so here instead of Omni-Man, we're writing the Clan Man.
Yeah. So bad.
This is just a really this is
Clansman.
Yeah, just if you look up original comics art, this is a good touch. This is what original comics art would look like.
Who was the guy that I think was it a Marvel or DC character, Hate Monger or something?
That's a DC one.
I swear that's
basically
direct.
just that, right? Okay, and here's our fractured spiral of time that we introduced on the last page, and our Jonah Hex character here, Wild Bill Hickok. Cool. They let Gil Kane draw some cowboy comics, which we like to see. This pissed me off to no end though. The black on dark blue gradient.
So bad.
Guys, come on.
So bad.
Come on. I mean this, and Gil Kane art is not meant for this fucking gradient digital coloring. I'm sorry, this is bad. But
that's what I would call a digital blasphemy right there.
Yeah, it's really gross. And this poor old man is probably giving you some halfway decent pencils.
Some pretty good shit, yeah.
And you are just making them atrocious. Yeah, so Gil Kane completists. Don't worry about chasing this one down. You're fine sitting this one out.
This one we could say is a miss.
Or I guess get to single issues. Maybe that's enough to scratch.
Honestly, I'd be curious to see the single.
Do they read a little better?
Who's to say, man?
I just love these characters, man. This is a great design. All those time travel
This one,
people.
pretty cool.
And so they have to go back to the West, and yeah, you're totally seeing like the Tom Strong builds and frames. Chris Sprouse, I did some Wikipedia diving on him after this, and unfortunately he really didn't do a whole lot, but all the calling him in to do that Tom Strong run is brilliant.
That was a good call. Yeah.
Talk about a romp. Okay, you were saying the one thing missing from this comic was Hillary Clinton, right?
Of course, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. You were saying it. We were all thinking it. We're bringing back a lot of the villains that we talked about in the previous, either covers or flashbacks. The Sprouse art, I just love his figures, man. They're like just very appealing to
fun,
the eyes.
And very story driven figures, I would say. They're all his choices are good with how he's choosing to represent him in the
right. The framing and everything in each panel.
The moments are good.
Yeah, he's just that perfect match of post image, extreme exaggerated proportions and the more conventional Art Adams figure drawing. He finds such a good balance. What the fuck is going on here? It's like Domino, but it isn't. I don't know what the hell is going on.
We're gonna, yeah.
Oh, by the way, I killed your dog eventually. That's some Killing Joke shit. That's some some edgelord Alan Moore right there, shit. Baby. He's having fun, but you can't do Jungian Shadow Man archetypes without having a little bit of doing a little bit of edgelordism. So basically all the guys got out of the mirror world. We're kind of talking about our flashback here is getting into the mirror world, which is
honestly I kept getting lost because they would bring stuff back and then this was when it restarts.
So thus ends Supreme number 56.
Okay.
Mid-story, nothing wrapped up, nothing resolved, dead in the middle of an arc. On to issue 1. What the fuck?
We're restarting.
Are you doing? If this is issue number 1 of Supreme, it does not make any fucking
do with
sense.
This book? Yeah, this is your first intro into this character.
And yeah, he's and there's Bill and Hillary.
Yeah.
This is so fucking stupid. I don't even want to dignify it.
This one's fucking
funny
crazy.
As shit. I don't care, but it's this guy wants to conquer the world, so he faces off against Bill Clinton, and he just socks Bill in front of Hillary, and she takes him over, and that's
man.
And here's our Ant Girl. This is genuinely good and creepy. She's able to kind of put off a pheromone goo on people to make them fight, so she can steal their kids and use them in her hive.
Very, very menacing.
Just a cool, again, I don't know, maybe there's a direct Superman analog there, but it's also just a good villain, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
And so, now I like these kind of stories where it just round up all the villains and all the different Supreme teams have to fight. I'm very cool with that simple kind of story. She makes these two square off against each other. Everything kind of resolves. And then, the gimmick here is, Hillary Clinton is the real president, aka leader. And so this guy's please just beat the shit out of me so I can be defeated. And get out of it. This woman is crazy, Look, it was good times. What can I tell you? What can I tell you?
An innocent time.
Oy vey. Okay, so here's our gym. So I don't think I'm misreading this. I could maybe buy as an issue number 1. If this is issue number 1, it's fine because it's sort of it mirrors the first issue of Alan Moore's Supreme. So this could be fine as an issue 1, but I don't think this is issue 1. Just to double check here, this is our Jim Starling art.
Yeah.
Jim Starlin, and then you should never ever have to do this much referencing.
It should be in like sequence.
Jim Starlin is issue 2. Yeah, so this is the second issue of Supreme.
Oh! Just wild. And so they're just flying by
And
the
it's
seat
the
of their
second
pants.
issue of Supreme is, a direct parallel to the first issue of Alan Moore's run on Supreme, where all the Supremes meet up with Supreme, and this is all the Darius Daxes or the Lex Luthors meeting up with Lex Luthor in sort of the, Citadel Luthors. Goddamn, Jim Starlin fucking not phoning it in with these backgrounds. I mean, what you gain in one, you lose in the next. But whatever, he's doing his job.
Setting it up. Yeah, I thought this shit was so
of course,
funny.
you gotta have your Howard the Duck stand in here,
It was so
which
good.
was I don't know. I guess the Supreme one is the Mickey Mouse character.
The Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
Stand-in.
so cool. Fantastic Four. Jim Starlin is just drawing shit that Jim Starlin likes to draw, which is Iron Man and Reed and
So cool.
well, that wouldn't be MODOK necessarily. I guess that could be like any of the Fourth World guys
Who's
too.
the guy with the Mobius chair? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You can just have fun drawing characters if you're doing this.
Fucking Jim Starlin.
Yeah, I like this art. Again, I think I'd love to see it in black and white because it's kind of botched here. But the pencils themselves are nice, and it's cool to see Jim Starlin getting to cut loose. Now, this one I thought was really interesting because my edgy comics are 90s. I always associate the 90s as being dark and gritty. But for Alan Moore, his transvestite serial killer Lex Luthor is from the 80s, which is kind of a fun perspective, I guess, because it's like Alan Moore was so on the vanguard of darkening and grimifying comics that for him, he's like, oh yeah, that was the 80s. But I think looking back now, we associate this kind of edgy character with like the 90s. So I don't know, just interesting how perspectives can kind of shift, and also just him taking jabs at basically the exact kind of characters that he created with Marvel Man, especially, But yeah, we're going through all the different citadels of. Oh, we got our Doomsday Lex Luthor. It's a good. I think you called it a romp. That was the best word for it. So now we have a Matt Smith drawing.
Who's this guy? Yeah.
Not bad. In kind of a, you could tell the Westaboo style had come in. Manga is taking hold, and we're throwing shit at a wall and seeing what sticks.
Whoa. This looks way different than the scan version.
Oh, really?
A little bit, yeah. Or else I'm
trying to.
I'm gonna breeze through this one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we're getting Rock and Rick Veitch back. Don't worry. Doing our Kirby Dust, like great characters. Like this is so the two-headed man. And our Lois Lane.
So tough.
Yeah, I guess it's. Yeah, this is his Lois Lane stand-in doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Citadel of Sweet, or City of Sweethearts.
Man.
The Snack Bar Supreme. JC Duck. Yeah, this is all of. I think this is all the different versions of his girlfriends, and they all get to sit around
They're all
and
hanging
gab
at the wives' table.
It's so cool. And our crypto doesn't like what he sees here. This is again what Alan Moore does: plant some seeds that all come back.
Yeah. Cool. Like some Matt Mignon, or what's the name?
Yeah,
Mike
a little
Mignon.
bit, for sure, in the style of it, without really knowing how it works. Yeah. On a superficial level, going with it. And yeah, the story isn't much to speak of on these runs. the dog has sex with a bunch of dogs. And now there's a
Yeah,
million.
now there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, kind of there was a little bit of 101 Dalmatians mania going on in the late 90s. You'll not know it if you weren't there, but like that live action remake, arguably one of the only
Live
good.
action, and then they remade, or they did 102 Dalmatians,
Yes.
and then like I remember that time.
Yeah, it's so strange. Well, like these are the parts of the 90s they leave out with their
Of all of-
retrospectives.
all of the characters they could have brought back.
Yeah,
Was-
there's a little boom in the old 101 Dalmatians, and maybe this is a little nod to that. So this is our Infinity group, sort of going out to, meet up with. We're trying to get different people to join the Infinity group, and I want to say Darius Dax is the guy in the suit, right? And
Yeah.
he's sort of outwitted by the rest of the gang, and so they form the new Infinity group and kick old Darius Dax out. Great.
That's out.
Why not? Why not? Fun little story.
Boom.
What the hell is this one? This is Ian Churchill. Fine. Weird fucking art style this is. Don't ask me
one's
what we're
kinda
doing.
wild.
This is the burrito butt of the Supreme line, okay? Like, we're not. You're probably sick of it. We're a little sick of it. We're
Like in
just.
this time, yeah, they kept bringing things in, and they wouldn't really complete or go anywhere.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, it's kind of cool because we sort of take that Supremium Man thing, which
Yeah.
I think we kind of learned in that last one well enough. Basically, like, he kept going backwards, and it's sort of a paradox or whatever. But him turning into the original Supremium that transformed Supreme. Even so, beyond just the Supremium Man fight, he went back after that fight. He went further back in time, and his enemy is his origin story,
Right.
Which is interesting enough.
That was a cool take on that kind of time travel.
Yeah, and here's our Omni-Man #1, which is
Really
a tribute to a redo of the first Supreme, which is a tribute to the first Superman. And now, what the fuck do you call this?
Insane.
So this is Liefeld proper. Liefeld drawing his own book. Can you believe it?
This is fucking
In the
wild.
style of Jack Kirby. And doing a pretty passable job. You
Yeah.
know? This is someone who's internalized Kirby. But I was like, God, did he die? When did Jack Kirby die? 1991. This comic comes out in 1999. This is
way late.
it's I cannot tell you why this is happening. And it's not Jack Kirby isn't the guy who you associate in any way with Superman, let alone the era of Superman that Alan Moore is borrowing from. Liefeld isn't the kind of guy you associate. Those guys all sucked off Kirby, sure, but
he's not the one
No.
that you take away as Eric Larson is your
Yeah,
guy who
for
you
sure.
say, out of Image, I would say. But this, I think he just wanted a pep talk from Jack, and he needed
to talk with him through these comics.
through this. Yeah,
I actually really like that take. I'm with you there.
because here's where I say that he's kind of evoking Jack Kirby for himself. I don't know if he was going through a rough time. I don't know when he leaves Image.
Yeah, but
Maybe it was book 1, but this is kind of where I think he's basically. Anyways, what's up? Yeah, he just starts a conversation with him.
yeah, and it is a little it's very Grant Morrison. Imagination is the fifth dimension. Your mind can create anything, and being a creative person is cool. I'm Jack Kirby. I'm
Yeah.
creative. Look at all the things I created.
And he goes back to his style.
And then we're out. We're done.
Yeah.
And then we get to draw our crinkled up.
Those eyes, those Liefeld eyes.
No feet, of course. Way too busy. But we get to end with a nice little sweet romantic moment.
Little joke here.
Could a comic book affect the supremacy? Now about this gay thing. Sure. And that's
man.
how. On that note. So it's kind of hard, to prop these comics up as like, like if you're a comics as literature guy, as I will take that pretentious mantle, like even Alan Moore fandom by and large is not there's a kind of baggage with it, because there's so much of his stuff that people who are just indie comics readers or just like Karl Barks fans are going to be like, oh yeah, Alan Moore, the edgelord guy,
Yeah, of course.
I think his stuff has such depth to it, and I think his like analysis of superheroes is like always merited, and it's never cheap, and there's always something to it.
It's so spot on too.
Yes.
And he seems to uncover these like new facets to these ideas that like, for me, like I've spent so much time thinking like, oh, what, like Spider-Man, like what are the other,
Yeah, why is there these universal appeals,
Yeah, and he just kind of has a really interesting take on all of these archetypes.
And while he's doing these takes, he's also telling a real story.
Yeah,
every time.
Super unique and like
genuinely good science fiction or superhero storytelling,
horror, like
while like just unraveling these balls of twine and stylistically going in such a new direction. I think his stuff is phenomenal. That said, it's really hard to prop it up when you see stuff like this, So this is not, I don't think you can give this comic to someone who's maybe like, I don't really like superheroes. I don't think you could start him with this comic, and I don't think this look is like great. I mean, this is why This is why I will eternally suck off Watchmen, because it's
for sure.
Like that's the perfect fucking style for a kind of timeless, in the truest sense, like not locked down to any given era of comics storytelling.
Yeah,
that can kind of transcend the trappings of being a superhero comic. And unfortunately, this is visually so in of its era. Now, if you are cool with just reading a Shadowhawk comic, if that's not going if that's not going to make you vomit, like if you're not that stuck up, this shit fucking rocks 100%. Because again, if you are kind of maybe just sympathetic to this era of comic books, maybe you find there should be some charm to it. Like you've done your more serious reading, you've read through enough volumes of EC reprints, and you've read your funny animal comics, you've read your post Crumb Pantheon guys, you've picked up random stuff from indie creators, you've done all your legwork. Now you can look back at comics as a whole. This comic is for you. Yeah. Specifically.
I think that with that education, and like, dude, I'll even throw it to you, like, I've heard this a couple times, and then I recently heard this off of a YouTube video, like how to get into comics.
Right.
I think that to know what great comics are, you have to read shitty comics.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to read a lot of them.
Yes.
To really get what a good comic is. And in that same kind of space, reading a bunch of great comics will educate you on this kind of comic, like both sides.
For sure. It's like, there's Alan Moore comics that I will take no guff on, where it's like, fuck you. If you don't like this, you are not, like, you're lying, or you're not,
like, objectively. Yes, so fucking good.
And I wouldn't necessarily put the Supreme in this one. This is maybe for, like, what do they call it, insider baseball, right? Like, if you're really into comics, you probably will enjoy this more than like a From Hell or a V for Vendetta or something, because it's so, there's just so much of what in it, and it's a for us by us situation. This is a true. If you ever doubted Alan Moore's simping for Superman specifically, like, let this, like, They want you to forget this. They don't want you to know about this run.
This.
This is forbidden knowledge. But crack this bad boy open and tell me that Alan Moore is like, supreme edgelord, like hates superheroes, hates comic books, hates comic book fans, doesn't think anyone who's an adult should read a comic, because of these, salacious interview clips he's done or whatever. Like, bullshit, motherfucker. You don't write stories like this if you don't fucking love comics.
Or at least even care about the fucking... He's thought about it. He's had to have thought about these things so much.
And he's appreciative of having, like, the opportunity, I guess, to, like, finally tell this stuff. Because, Supreme is not going to get the guy that, like, okay, we gave you a Batman story, you broke this poor girl's back, and, like, you turned Swamp Thing into a fucking elemental god. Like, we have to fucking tidy this stuff up now. Like, we're not going to give you our goddamn Superman,
Right.
So, like, him getting to do this, I think, is largely, like, an opportunity for him. He gets to, really go wherever he wants to go. And, this is definitely decades of build-up and thought. I mean, if Miracle Man wasn't, holy shit. Have you ever read he does at least one Superman annual for the Man Who Knows Everything.
I've heard about it, and I definitely want to check it out.
I read it recently. It's good. It's maybe like if you hear Kevin Smith talk about it, he'll start fucking crying. I don't know if it's that worthy of attention, but it's a good read. But in it, like, the Superman goes into fantasy realm, by way of this, like, viral infection, and he gets to, like, live out his fantasy. And his fantasy is just Krypton becoming normal. And in Krypton, it's kind of fucking prescient for its time, because Superman, in, the world, in Superman's fantasy world, right? Yeah. Krypton never blows up. So his dad is seen as a quack. So because he's seen as a quack, he kind of, like, legitimately gets in bed with this, like, right-wing fascist organization that's bring back old Krypton. And, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, almost uncomfortable to read because it's so modern in terms of, like, people getting kind of, like, ostracized from polite society and turning into these, like, shadow fascist organizations.
So you're saying Superman's dad was red-pilled?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, he was, like, on Rumble and Kick and just, like, watching some real streams. And, like, I think he's, like...
Holy shit.
Yeah, Superman's like, Dad, why are you talking to those guys? So, again... Alan Moore, we gave you Superman and you made his dad a Nazi. We're not going to let you do a monthly. It's like, sorry, brother.
Oh, shit, man.
We have to have him cross over with other characters and shit. Like, we can't let you run this wild. But here, with an absolutely inconsequential character, he can run wild. And, like, honestly, I think he gets so much of that pure fanboyness out of his system so that when he gets Tom Strong... he hits the ground running. He isn't bound to like, okay, here's his Crypto, here's his Supergirl, here's his this, here's his that. There's obviously a lot of analogs in Tom Strong, but it's not nearly as tightly bound. Again, I would argue because he got it out of his system with this run.
I think so. This is like the proto Tom Strong, or at least it's like him getting his Superman kicks out
for sure,
and then he gets to create his own take on that.
And I think it's much less bound by, hey, aren't Golden Age comics weird? And like, isn't this a fun pastiche of this style? Like, I feel like the Tom Strong stuff is like, I don't know, it reads as so sincere and just him like being like, here's my best take on like what a character like this can do and be, and what it is to have like someone embody just goodness and compassion and strength and all of this stuff. And it's that's like, man, such a perfectly quiet gem of wholesomeness.
It really is. I like it's
Alan Moore catalog.
One of my favorites. I want to kind of like go back and explore out of the stuff we've explored on this series. I just can't believe it wasn't in my like scope.
Right,
It's
right.
exactly everything that I like. It's art comics, but it's not. It's like it is art comics to me. It's like an artful take on that kind of character. But I feel like it's not just bound by being Superman too. It's like,
and I'll say it again, man. It's shell game, because it's like you know,
Yeah.
you're looking at the flashbacks and who is guest, you know, doing guest art on it, and then if you're focusing on that, then you're not seeing this like just a really good superhero character. And then if you're focusing just on what a cool guy and world, a cool guy Tom Strong is, what a cool world mythology is, you're not watching this bigger plot unfold that unravels in this kind of crazy way. And it's like, oh, that is the Alan Moore shell game.
Yeah.
And that's why Alan Moore is bad at writing comics, because he doesn't do second act. He wraps up. And when he's left to do second act, you're kind of left a little unsatisfied. But when he gets the full arc, when he can do a third act, when he can put a period at the end of the sentence, it's phenomenal. So
yeah,
the curse is, I don't think you could just do Tom Strong forever.
Yeah.
And have it be as satisfying. You need to have it end.
Yeah, all great stories have closure, is what I think, and I think that's why I you know, that one doesn't have closure, but it does feel like.
I mean, it does if you stop reading after issue 18 or whatever.
Right, like the one like the run that we did.
Yes, it trails off a little after that if you want to keep going,
And
but it's like
feels fine.
Yeah, the last Alan Moore issue of that is a great stopping point.
Yeah, Watchmen. Fucking 5 out of 5.
The end of this first run of Supreme is a great closing point, and then there's some more. But we all agree, right? Needless to say, deserves some more.
Yes.
Needs, I would say.
I think so.
Given the shit printing, the unavailability of the book, just the messiness of these collections, like, it needs a good omnibus or representation or remaster or fucking something.
Something.
Yeah, this is it is truly a testament to how great Alan Moore is as a writer, that he is making great comics in spite of all this shit tearing him down. I mean, Rick Veitch is fucking in the cut. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, MVP.
He cinches the deal and like elevates this and makes it something that, like, I don't care if you hate Rob Liefeld or whatever the fuck, you still have to read these comics. And Rick Veitch's stuff is so otherworldly and just sublime in these. But that's how good Alan Moore is at just walking against the wind, making a memorable and phenomenal story. Like, you know, this is my GOAT. That's why he's my GOAT. This is I have this really high in my power ranking of Alan Moore comics, which, needless to say, we'll have to officially do as we.
I think so.
You know, in 30 years when we read that.
when we finish the full run of Alan Moore.
Let's have a little satisfying.
Yeah.
Bit here. Are we in frame here? Frame.
There we go.
Yeah. Boom.
Wow.
Love it.
Another one.
So what's next?
That's.
Gentleman's choice.
Oh man, I mean, okay, so I think I have the first collection of From Hell, and I also have this one, but I mean, any of these I can find.
I say I got the From Hell phone book. I think we can probably check it out.
Okay.
I mean, I'll lend it to you, or we'll check it from a library or something like that, so we can. That is going to be. There's a lot of reading in From Hell.
I like it.
And that's probably the best one to go with, because it's prime and more. It's a complete story, and it's like truly has nothing to fucking do with superheroes.
I love it. I might need something, because this was fully packed.
After let's be real here, like a lot.
Yeah.
40 issues, the longest run of Swamp Thing.
What was this? Yeah.
After you know, this is not chump change here. 24 issues of a fucking Liefeld comic. I mean, you know, elevated, reworked, reimagined. I could use us going into. I could stand for some Victorian black and white drab, and some fucking really sticking it to the goddamn Queen of England. She's had it fucking coming. We're gonna let these motherfuckers know what is really up with next time we check in on our. We'll find up a clever word for our more.
The more.
Yeah. So until then, at ease.
Nice.